So good morning, everyone. Allow me to present the beauty of taking BS Psychology here at University of San Agustin. Bachelor of Science in Psychology is a premier program of the University of San Agustin. It provides quality education with a scientist practitioner perspective. The program aims to engage in research and discourse addressing issues relevant to Filipino and global communities and develop and maintain faculty with diverse expertise and foster Augustinian and Filipino values among faculty and students. These are the program educational objectives. After 3 to 5 years, the BS Psychology graduates shall be professional psychometrician, and if he or she takes further studies, he or she can become psychologists and guidance counselors or guidance counselor. He or she can also proceed to related graduate studies. After 3 to 5 years of studying via psychology, graduates are expected to be competent in delivering various psychological services that involve application of psychological principles and procedures for the purpose of describing, understanding, predicting, and influencing the behavior of individuals or groups in order to assist in the attainment of optimal human growth and functioning. After 3 to 5 years, the BS Psychology graduates shall conduct research-based activities in quest for lifelong learning applying the Augustinian value of search for truth. So here are the program outcomes. Thus, the graduate is expected to exhibit mastery of the various goals, principles, processes, and approaches of psychology. The program deals with scientific study of human behavior. It involves the application of scientific methods to inquire into the biological, cognitive, affective, developmental, personality, social, cultural, and individual difference dimensions of human behavior. The graduate is expected also to apply psychological theories, concepts, and skills in the practice of psychology in school, industrial, clinical, and or community settings. The delivery of psychological services includes, but is not limited to, psychological interventions such as psychosocial support in times of pandemic like this, no? In times of emergency situations or disasters, coaching, psychological debriefing, group processes, and all other psychological interventions that involve the application of psychological principles to improve psychological functioning of individuals, families, groups, and organizations. The graduate is also expected to identify, use, and interpret assessment results as basis for individual or group counseling and other forms of intervention. Psychological assessment is defined as gathering and integration of psychology-related data for the purpose of making psychological evaluation, accomplished through a variety of tools, including group tests, behavioral observation, and clinical interview, and other psychological assessment tools for the purpose of assessing diverse psychological functions, including cognitive abilities, aptitudes, personality characteristics, attitudes, values, interest, emotions, and motivations, among others, in support of psychological counseling, psychotherapy, and other psychological interventions. The graduate is also expected to design and implement programs necessary for human development in school, industrial, clinical, hospital, and or community settings. Psychological programs involves development, planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of psychological interventions in various contexts. The graduate is also expected, above all, to integrate in their professional work the fundamental Christian Augustinian values related to critical thinking, social communications, and transformative community building. He is also expected to possess the necessary preparation for a licensure examination for psychometricians. and undertake further training for developing existing skills and acquiring higher level of competence, either through an employment context or formal graduate education, MA, MS, and PhD, and eventually taking licensure examinations pertinent to the practice of the profession, such as psychologist board examination and guidance counseling board examination. So here are the pool of competent and ethically driven scientist practitioners. First, we have our academic supervisor, Dr. Shella Marcela P. Villanueva, a licensed psychologist. Her orientation is more on social psychology. Her educational background, Doctor of Philosophy from University of Negros Occidental Recoletos. She took her MA in psychology, major in social and industrial psychology at University of San Carlos, and she graduated at University of San Agustin, AB Political Science. Also, we have Dr. Reynaldo Santos Mariano, a licensed guidance counselor. He took his PhD in clinical psychology at University of Santo Tomas and took his Master's of Science in Master of Science in Guidance and Counseling at De La Salle University, Taft. We have also Dr. Noel Basan, a licensed psychometrician. He took his BS Psychology at University of San Agustin, MA at the same university, and Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology, of course, here at University of San Agustin. We have also Miss Charmaine Salas, a licensed psychometrician and a licensed psychologist. No? Her expertise is in industrial psychology and introduction to group dynamics, also social psychology. She graduated here at University of San Agustin, taking BS Psychology and her MA in Industrial Organizational Psychology at University of San Carlos. We have also Miss Shira Marie Hobson Espinosa, a licensed psychometrician, guidance counselor, and a licensed professional teacher. She took her BS Psychology here at University of San Agustin, MAED in Guidance, University of the Philippines, Visayas, and Diploma in Teaching at West Visayas State University. And yours truly, I am a product of University of San Agustin, BS Psychology, and I took my Master's of Science in Clinical Psychology at De La Salle University Taft. I'm handling psychological statistics, theories of personality, and abnormal psychology. We have also Miss Raviet or Ravilin Silhai, a licensed guidance counselor, psychometrician, and professional teacher. She took her BS Psychology at University of San Agustin, MAED Guidance at University of the Philippines, Visayas, and Diploma in Teaching at West Visayas State University. We have also Miss Arabella Nyorosa Piliago, RN, and licensed psychometrician as well. She took her BS Nursing at West Visayas State University, BS Psychology, University of San Agustin, and MS in Psychology, University of Negros Occidental, Recoletos. And we have Sir Frank Imboltura, RN, LPT, MAED, and SPED. MAED SPED, no? Educational background, Masters of Education, major in Special Education at West Visayas State University, Diploma in Teaching at the same university, and BS Nursing at St. Paul College of Iloilo. He is handling Understanding the Self. And finally, we have Miss Marisol Tormon, a licensed psychometrician. She took her BS Psychology here at University of San Agustin and currently taking her MAED guidance at University of the Philippines, Visayas. To prepare our graduates to become competent and ethically driven scientist practitioners in various settings, the program holds an evaluative examination for incoming second year psychists and qualifying examinations for incoming third years and fourth years. We have also comprehensive or pre-board examination. To be qualified as having passed the comprehensive examination, the student must obtain a rating of at least 75% in all subjects, just like in the board examination for psychometricians. Theories of personality, 20%, industrial psychology, 20%, abnormal psychology, 20%, and psychological assessment, 40%. This comprehensive examination is taken during the first semester fourth year level. In the event that the student obtains a rating below 75 in one or two subjects, he or she shall take a removal examination only in the subjects where he or she is failed. No? And we are here as your teachers to guide you in passing and acing the board examination, of course. Provided further that if the student fails to obtain an overall rating of at least 75, he or she shall be considered as failed in entire comprehensive examination, in which event the student shall retake the comprehensive examinations, pre-board examination to be scheduled on the first week of the second after the comprehensive examination from which the student failed. So BS Psychology is an excellent preparatory course for further studies, not only in MS, MA, and PhD degrees, but also as Juris Doctor and Medicine. With the implementation of mental health law, or RA 11036, there will be more opportunities for mental health workers and professionals in our country for the next 5 to 10 years. So future careers, okay, na pwede might include guidance counselor, psychometrician, teacher in school setting. You can also become human resource officer, training officer, organizational development specialist, OD specialist, employee assistance program specialist, and you can become consultant in various organizations here in our country and worldwide. And for clinical setting, you can be a community mental health worker, professional. You can become psychometrician, psychologist, and eventually you can become counselor as well. So the PsychoCell is the official organization of psychology majors of the University of San Agustin. In fact, the PsychoCell facilitates various activities in school and the community, such as General Assembly, community service, alternative class. During the second and third week of April, this coming April, we will also hold series of webinars entitled Usapang Mental Health. So we'll be inviting you again, future Agustinian psych majors, to attend this said webinar as part of our service learning and community outreach as well. We have also the national organization. You can be affiliated in this national organization. We have Psychological Association of the Philippine Junior Affiliates, or PAPJA. PAPJA Annual Convention serves as an important venue for the sharing of recent developments in the field of psychology as a science exposure to the practice of psychology through workshops, exchange of ideas, and fellowship. Our faculty has also a lot of extension works or community services. Example, we have Psych Help during the onset of pandemic last March 2020. Psych Help is an initiative of the psychology department headed by our academic supervisor to address feelings of psychological discomforts in the time of pandemic. The services are handled by psychologists and guidance counselors and assisted by psychometricians as well. The program highly encourage anyone, especially peers, frontline workers, friends, tag POMs, and PUIs, as well as community members to seek help if this crisis is taking a toll on your mental health. No? Your faculty members are also active in various national organizations, seminars, and research conventions, such as Psychological Association of the Philippine Conventions, PSSP, or Pambansang Samahan sa Psikolohiyang Pilipino. All right, allow us to be part of your journey as a competent and ethically driven professional of the future, an Augustinian lifelong learner. Welcome, future Augustinian psychology major.